Experts walked into Matt Armstrong's garage expecting to find rebuilt cars. What they found left them genuinely speechless. What looks like a collection of restored vehicles is actually something far more unusual. Machines brought back from total destruction to a standard that even seasoned professionals struggle to explain. Behind each one is a process most people would never attempt, and results that challenge how the entire industry thinks about written-off cars. So what did they actually find inside? Here's the full story of Matt Armstrong's garage, how it came to exist, and why the cars inside it stopped professionals in their tracks. Matt Armstrong was born in Leicester, England, and grew up in a household where cars were a working reality. His father, Tony Armstrong, ran a repair garage, the kind with permanent oil stains on the floor, where conversations were about what was broken and how to fix it, not about what was desirable and how to acquire it. Matt spent his childhood in that space, watching and absorbing the kind of practical mechanical intuition that can't be taught in a classroom. It only arrives through repetition and proximity. He left school and became a professional BMX rider, the first sign of a quality that would define everything that followed. The willingness to get extremely good at something difficult through sheer repetition, with no guarantee it would ever be financially viable. BMX sponsorships covered travel but not rent. Matt competed internationally from the age of 16, riding in France, Germany, Barcelona, and Dubai. Between events, he coached BMX, did food delivery, bartended, worked in his father's garage, and put time in at automotive retail and tuning shops. Then, at a qualifying round of the BMX World Championships in Germany, executing a 720 tail whip, he dislocated his shoulder. He qualified in 16th place but couldn't complete the competition. The shoulder kept dislocating. The BMX career was over. The pivot from BMX to automotive content was not instantaneous, and it was not planned. He started a YouTube channel in April 2013 to post BMX videos and send montages to competition sponsors, the same way everyone in his position was using social media at the time. The channel sat largely dormant for years. The real shift came in 2018, when his girlfriend Hannah's Audi TT was badly damaged in a crash. Matt bought the car back from the insurance company and filmed the entire rebuild process. The response surprised him. People wanted to watch a real person work through a real problem in real time. No script, no production team, no safety net. They wanted the camera running for all of it, including the parts that went wrong. The GoPro in the rain in the car park wasn't a production choice. It was the only option he had. But it turned out to be exactly the right aesthetic, unfiltered and relentlessly focused on the work. The first car that truly changed everything was a Bentley Continental GT, purchased for £10,000 on eBay during the COVID-19 lockdown. Matt had been furloughed from his job at a dealership and was sitting at home with savings he'd put aside for a house deposit. He spent the money on the Bentley instead. He rebuilt it on camera, and the channel crossed 100,000 subscribers on the back of that single project. Something the Audi TT had suggested was now proven. The bigger and more outrageous the damage, the bigger and more engaged the audience. By the time lockdown ended, Matt Armstrong was no longer a furloughed mechanic who made YouTube videos. He was a content creator who happened to be a mechanic, and that distinction was about to change his life. When Ed Balian from VineWiki and appraiser John Ficra conducted a formal valuation of Matt Armstrong's collection, they came prepared to be impressed. They were not prepared for the specific quality of what they encountered. Every car in that building had started somewhere else. Every car had a certificate in an insurance database marking it as a total loss. And every car had been brought back by one man, frequently without factory support, without official parts channels, and in some cases without any cooperation from the manufacturers who had built them in the first place. The Lamborghini collection alone was enough to make the appraisers pause. The Aventador SVJ came in at $600,000. The Revuelto at $575,000. The Gallardo LP 560-4 at $110,000. The Urus SUV at $160,000. And the Murcielago, which Matt had modified with a twin-turbo setup and driven across Europe in one of his most-watched series, was valued at $350,000. Every single one had been purchased in a condition that any reasonable person would have called catastrophic. Everyone was now worth multiples of what Matt had paid to acquire it. The Ferraris occupied a different section of the garage. The rebuilt F430 was appraised at between $140,000 and $150,000. But the more significant Ferrari story wasn't about valuation. It was about the build Matt completed in early 2025, when he rebuilt an F430 as a gift for his father Tony. The idea of a son using the skills his father gave him to rebuild a car and then hand back the keys landed in a way that pure engineering content never quite could. It became one of his most viewed series. The Aston Martin section told its own story. A crashed DB12 came out of Matt's workshop valued at $190,000. A flood-damaged DBX 707 was assessed at between $115,000 and $125,000. An earlier Vantage, purchased for £54,000, the cheapest 2019 example sold in the UK at the time, emerged in satin orange wrap with carbon fiber bonnet vents lifted from an ex-Aston Martin GT3 race car, and was assessed as worth more after Matt's work than it had been before the crash. That is not a common outcome for insurance write-offs. The Porsches represented the furthest edge of road-legal performance engineering the garage had addressed, before the Bugatti arrived. The 992 GT3 was appraised at $175,000. The 992 GT3 RS at $350,000. That distinction, the most dramatic single story in the garage, belongs to a car that was declared permanently dead by its own manufacturer. A car whose VIN was blacklisted globally. A car that Matt Armstrong started in a private English workshop in March 2026, while the CEO of Bugatti watched from the comments section. The Bugatti Chiron Per Sport is one of 60 ever made. This particular example had been crashed in Florida, declared a total loss, and bought back from a salvage auction by its original owner, Alex Gonzalez, for approximately $1.9 million. Gonzalez had the car. He didn't have a path to repairing it. Bugatti quoted $1.7 million for a factory repair at their facility in Molsheim, France. The VIN had been blacklisted globally, meaning every authorized Bugatti dealer on the planet was connected to a database that would refuse to supply parts for that specific chassis. The car was, in the official language of the manufacturer, permanently finished. Gonzalez called Matt Armstrong. Mate Rimac, CEO of Bugatti Rimac, posted publicly explaining why independent repair of a vehicle this complex posed safety risks that no private workshop could adequately address. He wasn't wrong about the engineering complexity. The Chiron Per Sport is built around a carbon fiber monocoque that Rimac stated only 2 facilities in the world were equipped to correctly split and rejoin, the factory in France and one specialist partner. Matt split it in a private workshop in England. He described the process as requiring some gentle persuasion. When the two halves came apart, what was revealed inside explained the true nature of the damage. The W16 engine had physically moved within the structure from the force of impact. The cast aluminium engine mount bracket, a component engineered by design to crumple and absorb crash energy, protecting the drivetrain, had done exactly what it was built to do. The problem was that a component designed to fail also needs replacing after it fulfills that purpose. With the VIN blacklisted, no official replacement existed. Matt 3D scanned the broken bracket, digitized its geometry, and CNC machined a replacement from solid billet aluminium. He also TIG welded the original broken bracket as a parallel solution. When a pinched coolant pipe needed replacing, he ran a section of rigid brake hose. When the stock exhaust system was destroyed beyond use, fabricators built a custom replacement. 14 titanium bolts were used to reunite the two halves of the car. In March 2026, he turned the key. The W16 engine, 4 turbochargers, 1,500 horsepower, started on the first attempt. Bugatti eventually lifted the VIN blacklist during the course of the project and reduced its repair estimates. Rimac remained in the comments throughout the build. The CEO of one of the most exclusive car companies in the world kept watching until the engine started. When it did, there was nothing left to say. The workshop where all of this happens is 800 square meters of custom-built space in Leicester, designed specifically around 2 simultaneous requirements: a professional supercar rebuild facility and a YouTube production environment. In early 2025, the floor was transformed in a single day, 3,200 modular PVC tiles laid across the entire space, rated to withstand loads up to 7.5 tons. The installation was completed in one day to minimize disruption to the build schedule, because the schedule is always running and every day the workshop is offline is a day the channel isn't producing. The space contains 2 hydraulic lifts positioned for both practical access and camera visibility, toolboxes organized by function, shelving that holds not just equipment but project mementos, parts that didn't make the final car, and components that tell the story of how a specific problem was eventually solved. A dedicated filming area, acoustically treated to cut the engine noise and reverb that would otherwise make indoor recording impossible. The space was not built to impress visitors. It was built to work. That it impresses every professional who walks through the door is simply a consequence of how seriously it functions. From a GoPro in a rainy car park to a formal appraisal by independent experts, the numbers speak for themselves. But the more remarkable figure isn't any single valuation. It's the gap between what each car was worth when it arrived and what it was worth when it left. That gap is the whole story.